Welcome to Ark Wildlife Park. Today we're going to look at the story of Flerken the Savannah cat. Now Flerken came into us in 2019. She was smuggled in, unfortunately, from Russia via Heathrow Airport. And she was being brought into the country illegally, and she was stopped by Border Force, and they needed to give her a home. Now Flerken is what we refer to as a Savannah cat, and she is a hybrid between the wild African wildcat, the serval, and a domestic cat. Now a serval is a medium-sized type of African wildcat with a very distinctive spotty coat, and they breed them to domesticated cats with the idea of producing an animal that looks wild but in theory has the attributes of a domestic cat. Now unfortunately it's a very morally dubious and not very ethical breeding process, because the serval and the domestic wildcat are on two completely different branches of the cat family tree, which means they're not genetically compatible. So a lot of the time these pregnancies don't take, and unfortunately when they do, it can cause the domestic cat, which is usually the female in this breeding arrangement, to have a lot of complications and problems. And the other issue with the problem is quite often the male serval, being a much bigger animal, will unfortunately sometimes kill the female. So it's a very morally dubious breeding practice, not particularly ethical, and but that's not Flerken's fault, and we're just going to look in a bit more about her story. Now Flerken was brought into us, well, we were contacted by Border Force. She was being smuggled in illegally with the incorrect paperwork from Russia. On the paperwork they were trying to claim that she was actually an adult regular domesticated cat, but in fact she was only a 3-month-old kitten, and the vets at Border Force knew something was wrong when they gave her a good look over to see that she was healthy, and they discovered she's still got her milk teeth, so certainly not an adult cat, and she was only about 3 months old, and she was being smuggled in illegally because these type of cats, as soft and as lovely and as playful as she is with us, she is classified as a dangerous wild animal. She's what we call an F1 generation. She's the first generation pairing between the wild serval and the domesticated cat. So she's 50% wildcat, which means she is classified as a dangerous animal, which left Border Force with a bit of a problem. They couldn't rehome her to a traditional domesticated home because she is, as I said, classified as being a dangerous animal and would need a special license. Now unfortunately traditional zoos weren't interested in her anyway, because obviously a normal zoo, they want to exhibit and to show full 100% wildcats, but Flerken, being a hybrid, wasn't of any interest to zoos, and certainly she couldn't be used for any conservation work or any breedings. Like I said, this is a man-made hybrid that you won't find in the wild. Typical cat, she disappeared, now we need her. So she was too wild to sort of go to a domesticated home, but not wild enough for a zoo. So the potential was there that she might have to be euthanized if a correct home couldn't be found for her. But thankfully we were more than happy to give her a home here, and she's been with us now for the last 5 years, and she's definitely a firm favorite here. She doesn't live with all of our other wildcats up in the back because she is so human orientated due to that domestic cat part of her breeding. She wouldn't appreciate being sort of shut away from everyone like the wildcats are. So she lives up the front of the park. She's one of the first animals that you'll meet when you visit us. And also because we live on site within the zoo ground, she does regularly get to come home with us and play and get that human interaction that she does so crave. But we really can't recommend, especially these F1 Savannah cats, as pets, because she still can have her feisty moments, because at the end of the day she is 50% wildcat. Do have some exciting news though regarding hybrid cats and rescues. Flerken won't be the only hybrid on site. We are shortly going to start a new rescue project with an organisation we work very closely with, and we'll give more details later on, but we'll hopefully be giving a home to some more hybrid wildcats, a different type of hybrid than a Savannah, and we'll let you know all the details within the coming weeks.